Hey guys, Somari here. Today I'm going to be talking about the trains in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Number 1, the Friendship Express. So far, it's a simplified 440 steam locomotive, and there is no tender and often depicted to be a long-distance mainline locomotive. This engine has appeared in enough episodes that I'm not going to bother listing them. Yes, I'm lazy. I have no idea how it manages to be such an efficient mainline tank engine, but of course, in a world full of unicorns and ponies like this, it's possible that a unicorn engineer likely invented the magical slow-burning coal. Considering how often it appears, even in the intro for goodness sake, I'll also assume it's magically self-maintained as well, which is even lower than low maintenance. Also, there are a lot of different whistles and horns on this very one engine alone. Again, too lazy to include them all, but it's enough to prove my point. I assume since the Equestrian Railroad only had 3 engines in their fleet, it's possible the railroad ponies were likely bored and wanted to have a little fun. And since there weren't a lot of engines in the railroad fleet, they likely decided to buy a lot of different locomotive whistles and horns and install them all on just one engine, that being the Friendship Express. Technically, the Equestrian Railroad Administration would likely raise their eyebrows and or be confused, but it hasn't caused any trouble yet, and I get it. I love many different whistles and horns as well. But can you imagine rail fanning and all of a sudden the train you're filming has multiple whistles and horns on the same locomotive? Number 2, Old Broken Down. This engine appears in the episode Over a Barrel in Season 1, Episode 21. As we can see, it's also a 440 steam engine, but it appears to be pulled by a lot of ponies instead of the engine moving on its own. The only logical explanation is that the engine broke down, and the ponies had to pull the train for the rest of the journey. However, the whistle still worked. This is how I came up with the name Old Broken Down. This likely predated the self-maintaining and slow-burning coal concept, and instead of testing this magic on Old Broken Down itself, they built the Friendship Express and used it as a testbed for this magic instead. It's possible they thought of this upon building the Friendship Express in the first place, and didn't think much about Old Broken Down. And as far as I know, we never really see Old Broken Down after the episode. It's possible it was sold for scrap or preservation, like what happens to every outdated locomotive once it meets its successor. Number 3, Princess Cadence's Private Train. As far as I know, it appears to be from the Crystal Empire. It appears once, as far as I know, in Season 4, Episode 12, Three's a Crowd. And this locomotive, this one's the most interesting one. It appears to be both streamlined and a cab-forward steam engine. I say steam because of the funnel, and we can explicitly hear chugging sounds as well as a whistle. Since the Equestrian Railroad managed to make the Friendship Express self-maintaining and more efficient, it's likely been decided that Equestria won't need any diesels or electric locomotives. They could potentially magically clone the coal to avoid depletions, as well as make it slower burning. Now, as we can all notice, there are no side rods. None that we can see. If you're wondering how it works as a steam engine with no side rods, I have a theory. The piston is attached to a cog, and when spinning that cog, it spins another cog, and that cog is on one of the axles of the locomotive. And when spinning the cog on the axle, that will spin the axle, and there you go. Propulsion. That is how I think Princess Cadence's Private Crystal Empire locomotive works. Now, even though the Friendship Express, and possibly this as well, are self-maintained with magic coal to make them efficient, there was still another problem that steam engines had: pollution. The coal smoke was likely also complained about by local ponies, so they have Princess Cadence's train puff out this pink stuff instead, and I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Cotton candy? Strawberry ice cream? Maybe strawberry milkshake? I don't know, you tell me.